Hello everyone, it is Heidi and welcome back to this week's episode of Baby Name Sunday. Today is going to be a very interesting and kind of informative list. So the SSA, which is the Social Security Administration, they actually let us know what baby names are trending, what are the most popular baby names based off of births, and everything like that. So they did update their system for 2021 about a week and a half ago, and I wanted to share with you guys some girl names that have increased in popularity on those charts. It's probably one of the most accurate sources to take a look to see what names are rising, what kind of name trends you see, just because it really showcases all the different names that have been registered. So it's a really good insight on what names to keep an eye out for this year and the years to come. So before I do get on with the list, if you guys haven't already subscribed yet or you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Heidi and every single week I upload names lists here on YouTube. I am a name consultant, so you can book one-on-one name consultations with myself if you are in a rut with names or you need some help finding some baby name inspo. Kind of like a curated list just for you. To start the list off, I have the name Adelina, spelled A-D-E-L-I-N-A. Adelina. Now this one's both an Italian and Spanish name, could be Slavic as well, meaning noble and with grace. So Adelina has actually jumped about 92 spots from 2020 to 2021, and I will be sharing this number with you throughout all the names on this list, so at least you guys can see how many spots it has jumped. That is a pretty impressive jump, and I definitely see longer and elegant A names just booming in the future. Next is Nellie, spelled N-E-L-L-I-E, Nellie. This one also has been jumping quite a few spots. It's both Latin and Greek rooted, meaning horn or sun ray. You can also do the nickname Nell, which has been pretty booming over in the UK as just a solo name. So Nellie is definitely a great vintage choice. I have Vida, spelled V-I-D-A, Vida. It's a Spanish rooted name meaning life. This one's very beautiful. It's one of the top rising names. As you guys can see, it jumped 285 spots, which is absolutely nuts. So that is definitely a name to look out for. Those shorter, timeless V names in general is a big, big hot commodity for girls. Next, for a J name, we have Jovi, spelled J-O-V-I-E, Jovi. Jovi is actually another name for Jupiter, which is the king of the Roman gods. So it is more so a boy's name, but it kind of made it to that gender neutral spot. Speaking of gender neutral, we have Denver, spelled D-E-N-V-E-R, Denver. Now this is a stunning city name, but it means from the Green Valley. Next we have Kiana, spelled K-I-A-N-A, Kiana. This one's absolutely gorgeous. It has a wonderful meaning of divine, heavenly, luminous, and ancient. I also love the nickname Kiki for this one. Hadley, spelled H-A-D-L-E-E, Hadley. I actually really love the L-E-E endings for names. It's definitely unique, but it's not going too out of the box with spelling, if you know what I mean. And this one's an English rooted name meaning heather meadow. Salem, spelled S-A-L-E-M, Salem. This has jumped a little over 100 spots, so it's definitely one of those big place inspired names, great for little boys and girls born in the October and kind of this spooky season. But it's also a Hebrew rooted name meaning peace. Bold and brave, one of the greatest kind of virtue and word names, guys, that's rising is Treasure, spelled T-R-E-A-S-U-R-E, Treasure. I love this as kind of like one of those lucky gem kind of names here, especially for word names. I think it holds a lot of symbolism and meaning behind it. It's wonderful for a little rainbow baby. Next is Rivka, spelled R-I-V-K-A. I hope I'm pronouncing this one right. Again, it jumped quite a few spots, 28 spots, and it's Hebrew rooted meaning to tie or bind. We have a nature name here, which is Olive, spelled O-L-I-V-E, Olive. I think a lot of parents are gearing towards this one just because Olivia is just a staple and so timeless. If you're wanting a little bit more unique but still trendy and modern, olive is wonderful. It means olive tree. Next is Zora, spelled Z-O-R-A, Zora. One of the most popular Z names rising right now and in the future. It's a Serbo-Croatian name meaning dawn, so absolutely beautiful. Next, for a longer vintage choice, guys, we have Magnolia, spelled M-A-G-N-O-L-I-A, Magnolia. Tons of nicknames. You have Maggie, Noli, Nolia. Oh my goodness, you can go on. And this one is a wonderful vintage floral choice, just like Marigold, but Magnolia just has this gorgeous ending to it that I can see where the appeal comes from. Another M option here is Milena, spelled M-I-L-E-N-A, Milena. This one just rolls off the tongue, just like Magnolia. Really beautiful. It's a Czech-rooted name meaning love, warmth, and grace. Speaking of vintage, guys, a few options here. We have Georgia, spelled G-E-O-R-G-I-A, Georgia. I think this is absolutely timeless. It's English-rooted, meaning farmer. Then I have Marley, spelled M-A-R-L-E-I-G-H. I actually really love this spelling. It's not too far out of the box, just like Hadley, and this one's an English-rooted name meaning pleasant seaside meadow. Gorgeous A option is Aileen, spelled A-Y-L-E-E-N, Aileen. Now this one is an Irish and Turkish mix, meaning bright shining light of the moon halo. Lots of A options on this list, so I have another one. It's Alani, spelled A-L-A-N-I. Alani. This one has this kind of very Hawaiian feel. It is a Hawaiian rooted name. It means orange tree. Lots of I ending names for girls in general have been on the rise, but this one is definitely one of those keepers. We have Bristol, spelled B-R-I-S-T-O-L, Bristol. This one also is a great British place name, really cool, and kind of a little bit Tom girlish. Switching things up a bit, I have the name Winter, spelled W-Y-N-T-E-R, Winter. This one is a cozy weather name. I think it is so cute and very pretty. Kind of reminds me of like the name Alaska. I don't know, I love both of those names for girls. I think it gives kind of like a whimsical feel. Then for a little bit more of a neutral option, we have Micah, spelled M-I-C-A-H, Micah. Now this one has been rising quite a bit, just like the name Noah, which is also on this list. So both Micah and Noah, they're both Hebrew rooted. Micah means who is like God, and Noah means rest. Next is Belen, spelled B-E-L-E-N, Belen. This one's a Spanish place name for the name Bethlehem, so definitely a biblical name option as well. I think it's really cute, has a vintage flavor to it as well. Next is Estella, spelled E-S-T-E-L-L-A, Estella. Very gorgeous if you want that Stella nickname. It's French from Latin rooted, meaning star. Then I have Noemi, spelled N-O-E-M-I, Noemi. And this one's an Italian and Spanish rooted name, meaning my delight. Making our way down the list here, next is Arlette, spelled A-R-L-E-T-T-E, Arlette. It's French rooted, meaning noble and honor. Then I have Charlie, spelled C-H-A-R-L-I. A unique spelling for that one, and it's a derivative of Charles, meaning free man. I have the name Alea, spelled A-L-A-I-Y-A, Alea, and this one's a gorgeous Sanskrit rooted name meaning dwelling or abode. Then we have Ryder, spelled R-Y-D-E-R, Ryder. Loving this one for an edgy girl name, occupational name as well, meaning horseman. Next we have Berkeley, spelled B-E-R-K-L-E-Y, Berkeley. It's a Scottish rooted name meaning birch tree meadow. Then for a neutral nature name, we have River, spelled R-I-V-E-R, River. Now this one in general has risen a lot on the boys' side and now is creeping up on the girls' side. We have the name Winnie, spelled W-I-N-N-I-E, Winnie. This is absolutely adorable. It's English rooted, with such an amazing meaning. It means holy peacemaking or gentle friend. Next is Sloan, spelled S-L-O-A-N, Sloan. This one could be spelled with an E on the end, but this particular spelling has risen 90 spots. It's Irish rooted, meaning raider. I also love the name Baylor, spelled B-A-Y-L-O-R, Baylor. Now this one also is an occupational name. It's risen 130 spots, which is absolutely insane, and it means deliverer of goods. I have the name Raya, spelled R-A-Y-A, Raya, with Disney releasing Raya and the Last Dragon. I hope it's Raya. No, I think it's Raya. And this is the biggest booming name in 2021. It was spot number 1 for most increase in popularity, 441 spots, guys. That is a big jump. It's Hebrew rooted, meaning friend. Next up is Renly, spelled W-R-E-N-L-E-Y, Renly. I think a lot of parents love the name Ren in general, so this one has definitely been booming. It's the second most popular name that has risen the most and increased in popularity, and it means bird meadow. I have the name Drew, spelled D-R-E-W, Drew. This is one of my favorite neutral names for a girl, and it means strong and manly. Then I have Seven, spelled S-E-V-Y-N, Seven. Now this one, for number names, I feel like this one kind of set off the tone. Now you see 11 and kind of like even cinco in Spanish, the number 5. I think that's really cool. But 7's actually a biblical name meaning completion or perfection. Next up, just like Baylor, we have the name Bexley, spelled B-E-X-L-E-Y. This one has been a big hot commodity, and just like Bristol, it is a British place name. I have this sweet vintage name Paloma, spelled P-A-L-O-M-A, Paloma. It's a Spanish rooted name meaning dove, one of my absolute favorite vintage names ever. Then I have Malaya, spelled M-A-L-A-Y-A-H, Malaya. I think this is so cute too. It's a Filipino rooted name meaning free. A few more names here, guys, left on the list. So I have the name Elia, spelled E-L-I-A, Elia. This one's an Italian from Hebrew, and it's derived from the name Elijah, meaning Jehovah is God. Then I have Marceline, spelled M-A-R-C-E-L-I-N-E, Marceline. This is also an absolute beautiful French rooted name, and it means little warrior. I have the name Soraya or Soraya, spelled S-O-R-A-Y-A, gorgeous Persian rooted name, and it's a group of stars in the constellation Taurus. Next up, I have the name Isla, but this one's spelled A-I-L-A. Now this particular spelling is actually a completely different one than the I-S-L-A. This one is a Scottish and Gaelic rooted name meaning from the strong place. Next up is Fallon, spelled F-A-L-L-O-N, Fallon, another cool girl name. It's Irish rooted meaning leader. Then I have Briar, spelled B-R-I-A-R, Briar, and this one's an English rooted name meaning thorny patch. I love Briar for a little girl. I think it's also one of my favorite neutral name options. Next is Ellison, spelled E-L-L-I-S-O-N, Ellison, with that nickname Ellis. And this one is a British name meaning benevolent son. Second to last option here, we have Saraya, spelled S-A-R-I-Y-A-H, Saraya. And this one is a Arabic rooted name meaning night traveler or night rain. Very, very similar to Soraya or Soraya. A little bit more of that O, and this one has that A at the beginning. Plus they have completely different meanings. So I love how it's so similar, but totally different. Then last but certainly not least, guys, one of my absolute favorites as well is the name Adley, spelled A-D-L-E-Y. Now just like Hadley, this one's a derivative of that name. It's risen 31 spots, and it's English rooted, also meaning heather field. So I love all of these great name options that we definitely have to keep an eye out for this year and the years to come to see where they land on the name charts. It's definitely predicted and already seen in evidence that they have been favored by so many parents that are looking for great girl names. In the next future videos, I will be also kind of doing a series on the side that will be different and popular name trends and also name lists from all over the world, and some different names that are increasing in popularity around the world as well. So different countries, and I think that will be so fun. I'm going to take a peek at the UK, Australia, etc, etc. So if you guys have a country you guys want me to take a look at or kind of do some research on, please leave that country in the comments down below, and I'll take a look at that top list and pick out some of my favorites that are rising specifically there. Anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you guys take care and stay safe, and I'll see you guys next Sunday with another baby names list. All right, bye.